One of the many projects on my to-do list for this machine is making a fly cutter. I never used or made even a fly cutter in my life. And for this machine I have no idea what the maximum is. I have no idea if this machine can handle this or not. So this is not a how-to video, but you can look over my shoulder while I'm experimenting a little bit. I would like to experiment with different types of fly cutters, but of course let's build one at a time. First I would like to try one with an insert, and I prepared a nice little piece of round here, something to make the axle out. I have the biggest collet I have, so I would like to adapt this one, no problem. I have a Sharpie, and that's not important. I tried to sketch a little bit the idea here on the blackboard. Now, as you can see, I'm not good at all in making drawings, but I hope you understand the idea. I have to make a cutout right here and a pocket where my little insert will go right here. The shaft that will have, I don't remember anymore, let's measure it, 17.5 millimeter goes in here. The shaft, I will make it a press fit with this part and then put two little screws in between the shaft and this part to hold it all nice together. Let's go over the lathe and start making chips. First I will cut the part where the fly cutter itself comes, right here. And then after I can cut it to length and make this radius nice and straight between centers to fit the collet. First, the press fit. Make sure that I'm sure. I think that will do. I will adapt. I have now 6/100 of a millimeter over, but I will adapt the boring in this part to fit the press fit with this part. You know what? I think it's a fail. But that's not really a big problem, because this shaft is way too long, I will start again, cut this side, maybe this side closer. I think this side. Shit happens. Second try. I left the first piece on. It's maybe handy to slide it in, and then after I still have the center to do other operations on it. This wants maybe to go, so let's give it a bit of heat. Maybe. Maybe not. I think it's a tight fit. A real tight fit. That looks good. The thing is cooled, and I hammered so hard that this part here is bent. And I hope there's enough material left to cut it at the right radius. Let's find out. It's maybe a good idea to bring it to dimension with a radius tool. So in this shoulder here I will keep a radius. It will keep the rim to hold this part in place on this one. Let's do this. Round nose tool in place. I had to cut off here a little bit of this corner, otherwise it doesn't clear the shoulder here. But now we'll see if it works. Let's give it a little try. Oh yeah, it works. Let's give it a bit more personal touch. Because my part is held in place with little protection shims, aluminium, it's not really a rigid setup, and I have to cut off this part to work this face here. So what I did, I chose the most simple way. I just drilled it out, because parting off in this setup, I'm not sure it's gonna work. I think this will be much easier. Let's do. So indeed there was a bolt in here or something. I didn't know it was hollow, as deep as it is. Let's hope it works. Oh, I will cut it out on the milling machine, no problem. Cute! Let's take it out of here. I think I can make something with this. I received stickers this week from Steviegtr, and on his sticker is marked anything garage, and when you watch his channel he's talking about everything in his workshop and even out of his workshop, making good food and all these things. Stevie, as you can see, your sticker is already on the cheap door in a nice and central position. Now take your time and go and have a look at Stevie and give him a sub and tons of likes, because he really deserves it. And I like his eye for detail. On the back side of his sticker is marked peel backing. Now that's a good one, because I started to peel the front side. And now let's continue make fly cutter. It's gonna be a hard one because I have to do some thinking. The insert I want to use has a clearance angle of 7 degrees. I'm gonna make it a bit too big so you can see what I mean. This is the surface we're cutting. My tool is moving that way, of course, yeah. And this angle here, relief 7 degrees. So to keep this little cutting tool in place, it should be ideal to have a pocket. Let's take all this away again. Make a pocket in my fly cutter holder thing with here this again 7 degree angle. Yeah, I have no idea how to do this, but there was a brilliant idea from Billy, and he said, why don't you cut it, for example, at 90 degrees or 0, whatever you want to call it, and make a little shim at 7 degrees. Billy, that's a brilliant idea. Thank you very much. When I make this kind of tool holders for the lathes, they use the same inserts. Huh? Not really a problem. What I do is I take a shank, I make the relief angle in the shank, and here comes the insert. And to make the pocket for the insert at, again, 7 degrees, I set my cutting tool in the shaper, and this side of the cutting tool at 7 degrees, and then I cut, tack, 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 until here, and automatically I will have this 7 degrees. Easy, huh? To make my fly cutter, let's have a look at it from the underside. It's easier to understand. That's an egg. Of course, the center lines or something. My cutting tool has to come here and then stick out a little bit. That's more or less the idea. So I have to make a cutout here that comes down to the center line, and after that I can make the pocket. So this will disappear. Let's start with the cutout. Part installed in a V-block. I swiveled the base at 45 degrees. After all, it's a swivel base, so let's use it. And this 45 degrees will give me, after cutting, a relief angle between the cutting tool and the cut face of 15 degrees. Well, that's the theory. Let's see if we can do this without too many accidents. The right shoulder here on my part is finished. I installed a 3mm 2-flute end mill. I can use also for drilling. Very handy. Because I can't drill on this line of my little insert here, because of the right shoulder, I will drill almost touching this line. So the hole I'm gonna drill will be without. It's just to make clearance for the little corner here on my cutting tool. That's all. So first I will drill a hole here, a hole the other side, make a slot. After that, spin the part, make this line at 90 degrees and cut this slot, move the vise again, cut the other slot. It could well be that there's a much easier solution to do this, but I have no idea. So if you know, please put it in the comments. Let's start by drilling 4mm deep. Go! It's making a bit scary noises. And this is the only small end mill I have. So if it breaks, it will be game over for today. This is 4mm. That was scary. Indeed, the poor little 3mm cutter didn't survive. I suppose he grabbed a little chip or something and end of the line. But I also have a little 4mm 4-flute and this one came to the rescue. Right, in the meanwhile I also installed my brand new cutting tool fly cutter thing here, a piece of hot rolled steel, depth of cut 0.5 mm. Let's check on the chart here. I set it at about 30 meters a minute cutting speed, 190 RPM. Let's do this. That seems too good. Oh, nice. Okay, let's bump up the speed a bit. 300 RPM. Cutting speed about 40 meters a minute. That's a nice finish. 750 RPM. That's beautiful. When I look at the results here, to me it looks promising. Of course, I have to experiment a bit more, see what this thing can handle, but I think it was a good idea. Now, there's absolutely nothing special on making tools on a machine that can make tools for its own machine. So this tool can be used to make another tool on this machine. After all, it's a tool maker's machine.